It's disappointing. Not the movie. I haven't had this good of a time at the movies in a while. I would say the general public apathy towards this movie. I was really cheering for this movie. Darn it, I was really cheering. I'm at fault. I didn't go see it in its opening weekend. That's on me. They judged that really harshly. The movie follows Ryan Gosling as Colt Seavers. He's a stuntman. He's the guy you don't see. He's the best in the biz, darn it. Well, he was until he got brutally injured on the set of a movie and broke his back. But this caused a bit of a fallout with his girlfriend at the time, Judy Moreno, who at the start of the movie is just a lowly camera operator. Why does the relation fizzle out? Well, it's complicated, but mostly he was afraid of looking small in front of her because of how injured he was. And a year has gone by since their accident and a hot and heavy fling, and then one day, randomly, he gets a call. They want him back as a stuntman in Sydney, Australia, on the set of Jodie's debut film. Reluctantly, he heads out. What Follows One is a very charming romantic comedy where the two of them rekindle their relationship and work through all of their various issues that led them to break up in the first place. Because the movie is, in a large part, about Colt opening up and developing as a human being, but it's also about Jodie learning to express herself and really embrace what makes her a good filmmaker. Also, somebody gets murdered. Colt wasn't called back for any reason. Colt was the frequent stuntman for the biggest action star in the world, Tom Ryder, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. Classic Hollywood D-bag. He's also gone missing. Producer asked Colt to go look into it. Would you believe that this guy is involved in some potentially scuzzy things? You know, it's weird with this movie because it's fun. It's legitimately quite a fun movie, and it's everything you would want out of an old school Hollywood action blockbuster. But it doesn't feel of its time. This is like a movie they would make in like the 80s, 90s. Honestly, it comes off like a deliberate throwback to a movie from the 90s. Not one that actually existed, just the idea of a movie from the 90s in your head a little bit. I've seen a lot of action movies from the 90s and they're not exactly this sort of thing. Maybe you have to go back to the 80s with something like Romancing the Stone? Maybe. The last time I can really think of a romantic comedy action movie that really hit it out of the park. Most of them are pretty forgettable. Really fun ones all existed before we hit the franchise era. I mean, this is a franchise media picture. It's an adaptation of an old 70s TV show, but I don't know if anybody remembers it. I've heard of it, but that's because when I was a kid, I watched a lot of really old TV shows. It comes from the co-director of the original John Wick movie. The directing credits for the John Wick movie is really weird for the original one. There was actually two. Anyways, not to get into it. Safe hands. Really safe hands. You know that there's going to be good action scenes that come out of this. I don't know. It feels like this should be one of those rare, like, 4-quadrant movies that they're always talking about. Successfully does action, romance, comedy. And the most important quadrant, it appeals directly to me. It's not a franchise film, so there's no built-in audience. It's weird. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt were literally in two of the biggest movies last year, and that did nothing for this. I mean, it's literally Barbieheimer. This is the Barbieheimer movie that everybody was talking about. Honestly, the weekend they released it might have just been too packed. It's the real answer. A lot of people were going to go to see well-known franchise movies, and this one that they don't know, I don't know. Which sucks, because I want more low-stakes action comedies to exist. I don't know. I just don't know. Go see it. You'll have a good time. But also, this seems like a really strong summer, chock full of really good movies, so I don't know. Just bad timing, I guess. You know what they should have done? They should have released this on Valentine's Day. This is a romantic comedy action movie. That's a couple movie for couples to see. And I think if you'd released it then, you would have got a lot more butts and seats. That's my theory.